as a country, we don't understand South Africa in the same way. I think we carry in our heads different South Africas. Last year, Dr. Andres gave a speech somewhere in the US about 30 years of democracy in South Africa. You can divide this history of 30 years into 3 ages. Age 1 is from 1994 to 2007. Age 2 is from 2008 to 2022. If you look at age 1, the country is going up all the time. Age number 2, and you have the direct opposite happens. So in these 30 years of democracy, we start off going this way, and from 2008 we could start going the opposite direction. So next time you hear somebody saying, you've had this terrible 30 years of democracy, they are not telling the truth. They're not talking about South Africa, they're talking about another country. One of the things that worries me a great deal is that I think as a country, we don't understand South Africa in the same way. I think we carry in our heads different South Africas. And hence come with different solutions of whatever the challenges are. Take this notion of 30 years of democracy. What has happened during these 30 years? I think one of the fascinating things about these 30 years is what has happened, differences in the different periods within these 30 years. Last year, Dr. Andres gave a speech somewhere in the US about the future of South Africa. I think all of us should read that speech. It's very interesting and very educative about 30 years of democracy in South Africa. And Dr. Andres says this, that you can divide this history of 30 years into 3 ages. He calls it ages. As age 1, age 2, and age 3. And says age 1 is from 1994 to 2007. And age 2 is from 2008 to 2022. And now we are drifting towards the conclusion of age 3. So Dr. Andres says, if you look at age 1, the country is going up all the time. He says if even you take the number of people employed, in 1994 you got 8 million people employed. By 2008 it's 14 million. To contest this assertion that is made, that this was a period of jobless growth. Because in fact there's enormous job creation during this period. Levels of unemployment dropped during this period. All manner of positive things. He gives all the detailed socio-economic figures to show this upward process. That's what he calls age number 1. Then as I was saying, he says age number 2 is from 2008 to 2022. And you have the direct opposite happens. So in these 30 years of democracy, we start off going this way, and from 2008 we could start going the opposite direction. you, next time you hear somebody saying, you've had this terrible 30 years of democracy, they are not telling the truth. They are not talking about South Africa, they are talking about another country. And you can see why, one of the reasons, why from 2008, some of the socio-economic figures point downwards. Because I'm sure all of us will remember that 2008, 2007, 2008, 2009 was this period of the global financial crisis. Started with the crisis in the US banks, affected the whole world, impacted on us here. During that period, job losses started happening. This is an exogenous impact on South Africa of the global economy, which is shrinking, and therefore, in terms of our exports and all of that, they get impacted upon by that. So I'm saying you can therefore see one of the reasons why from 2008, in terms of those socio-economic figures, you would see a downward trend. But I don't think that is the entire explanation for this change. Because one of the puzzling things about this paradigm, as explained by Dr. Andres, is during age one, the national government here is the ANC. During age two, national government is the same party. So question arises, what happened that the same party is able to lead the country in this very positive way during age one and leads the country in the opposite direction in terms of age two? That's a puzzle, that's a conundrum. If it was a change of party, another party took over, then we can explain it. But it's the same party. What happened? So I'm saying when we talk about Temsile, about 30 years of democracy, I think this is part of what we've got to take on board. That what Andres is saying is correct. Is factually correct. One of the things that Andres does not discuss, because he was not discussing that particular issue, is that it's during this age one that we adopt our current constitution, 1996. And part of what happens during that first period is that we then put in place all the institutions that are required of this constitution. So whether we're talking constitutional court or public protector or the commission on gender and so on, gender issue and so on, all of these institutions, including the laws and regulations, come during this period. So this is a period, age number one, according to Dr. Andres, not only of socio-economic progress, but also the very entrenchment, the definition of democracy in this country comes during this period. Challenges, even with regard to that, come during age number two. I think this is a distinction that we need to make. Even in the context of voting on the 29th of May, I think we need to understand that context in order to be able to know who are we voting for. Who are these people?
There you have it, guys. Our African leaders are really doing their best to show how much they've envisioned the future, a sustainable future for Africa and its inhabitants. But you know, here in Kwazemi, we also love to hear from the people of Africa and lovers of Africa in the comments. So we encourage you to watch the videos as we post them here on Kwazemi, and do not fail to share your comments in the comments where you express your views, especially as people who love Africa and really wish the best for the future of Africa. So whatever it is you've heard and whatever it is you have a feeling about the speech you've just heard, please make sure to put it down in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please share and like and subscribe, because that's the way you support Kwazemi as a channel, an Afrocentric channel, where we try to understand deeper issues in African history and hopefully develop a collective intelligence on how we wish to build the Africa we want to see as people of Africa. See you in the next one.